Hey there, thanks for watching. This is part 2 of President Obama's 2008 budget. This is going to be, next section is going to start with justice and law enforcement. Justice and law enforcement. This specifically says the President's budget will enhance anti-terrorism, intelligence, and law enforcement efforts and promote greater public safety by strengthening counterterrorism, intelligence, and national security programs, assisting states and local communities by more effectively meeting their needs for law enforcement grants and assistance. Wow, they haven't done a great job on that. We saw that in Ferguson and now in St. Louis. It's also enhancing efforts to protect our children from abuse and exploitation. I believe they're trying to do that, including funding to reduce violent crime and combat the spread of illegal drugs, and performing for additional prison capacity to reduce overcrowding and ensure that the dangerous and violent criminals can be appropriately incarcerated upon conviction. Well, that depends on what the Obama administration considers dangerous, seeing how he's trying to let out a lot of convicted criminals that just seem to want to go right back up to what they're doing. The next is his health care plan. It improves America's health care system. He's going to making healthcare fairer, more affordable, more accessible, and flexible. He made it flexible, all right, but he didn't make it more affordable. Strengthening healthcare for low-income and vulnerable populations. The states already have that. The federal government already has the Medicaid program that most people are on that don't have health care. Modernizing and improving Medicare and Medicaid. Doesn't say much about that. We could go into that later. The next is state and international programs. This will enhance diplomacy to continue important work creating more secure, democratic, and prosperous world. More secure and democratic, prosperous world. Wow. That means, does that have to do with like what they did with Benghazi and a lot of the places around the world that ever since Obama took office, the world has exploded in violence and terrorism. He wants to strengthen democracy and self-sufficiency in Iraq and Afghanistan. Yeah, sufficiency in Afghanistan and Iraq. Iraq is a cluster blank, if you know what I mean. Spreading hope and freedom around the world. I think we need to concentrate on our people first here before we start spreading hope and freedom around the world. Preventing and responding to global challenges and humanitarian needs, and supporting transformational diplomacy and development. Wow, got some big words there. We shouldn't even be spending our money out there, but spending our money is another topic that I'm gonna actually really rant on because of the distrust and the usurping of the Constitution and the taxation of the people. Next is his global war on terror. And after I'm done with this, I'm going to go through the whole budget. And I'm going to put up a list of things in my next video, one of my next videos, on the monies that are spent that are going out of the country for programs that our government, both Republican and Democrats, have been doing for years. That shouldn't be. Should be taking care of our own people first. So the global war on terror. President Bush transmitted to Congress a request for additional funding to continue the global war on terror through the end of fiscal year and detailed estimated 2008 funding. Well, that was already done by Bush. Providing resources to win the war on terror in Iraq and Afghanistan. We may have won what we did by toppling Saddam Hussein, but we definitely didn't win the war. And let's see what else we got here. We'll go through that. Oh, the economy. This one. The economy. The President's 2008 budget is committed to pursuing pro-growth policies to sustain economic prosperity for all Americans. And how's he going to do this? He says by making tax relief permanent, tax relief, spending taxpayers' dollars responsibly. Wow. $18 trillion in debt. Spending taxpayers' dollars responsibly. Accelerating scientific progress with the American Competitive Initiative. What the hell that is. Opening new markets. I could see that, trying to open new markets. Making healthcare fairer and more affordable, more accessible and flexible. That's in here probably because the only ones that are making anything out of this are the insurance companies. And that was probably something Obama had to give in order to get all the money that he got. Promoting diversified energy sources and using alternative fuel. That's a good one. We should be using alternative fuel. Excuse me. We should be looking at any resources that can help us and cut the costs. Investing in education. I would say investing in education should be done at the state level. Government shouldn't have any say in what the state's education is. They should have a good educational system. And I saw a thing on the other day about some schools wanting to make, instead of giving a graduating 12th grade with a diploma that you finished high school, that they want to also incorporate so that they leave high school with an associate's degree. Well, that would be good as long as the children aren't just passed through the programs to give them an associate's degree to get out. They should be taking college courses. Transportation. Obama's 2008 budget will facilitate safer and faster transportation, build in more effective air traffic control systems to meet the air traffic demands in the future. Yeah, I can understand that. Explore new ways to reduce highway congestion, increase fuel efficiency, and focusing on Amtrak spending priorities. Trains are a good idea. They're probably can be just as dangerous as vehicles, but trains are good. I like trains. And let's see, housing. The president's budget on housing says assistance to millions of Americans by continuing to support administrative top housing priorities, including meeting America's most critical housing needs. They have this all defined. I'm just trying to give you the topics of his budget. I'm going to actually probably scan this in, even though I wrote all over it and let people download it from my website. Supporting home ownership through increased resources and program initiatives. That must be that program where the government will refinance your home, even if you're over 100% refinanced already. Working to end chronic homelessness. Well, it's 2015 and it seems like homelessness is still running quite rampant, so I don't think they've done much for that. Commerce. The president's budget will strengthen and support foreign and domestic commerce of the United States. Let's see. He says by enhancing the ability to observe, protect, and manage the Earth's resources. How does that relate to foreign domestic commerce? That's more on, should be in a climate change topic. Accelerating scientific progress through the American there's that American Competitiveness Initiative. I'm going to have to look that up because I don't know anything about that. Gathering the most accurate demographic and economic data. They do that through a lot of different ways. Protecting intellectual property rights. That's probably good. And trying to open new markets. Well, I would agree. We got to open new markets, but at what cost? Agricultural. The president's 2008 agricultural budget says he'll ensure continuation of strong farm economy, protect nation's food supplies, develop sustainable forests, promote nutrition assistance programs, and encourage development in rural America. Well, I get it with encouraging development in rural area. I mean, cities are too big as it is. It's actually too many. The population is too big for the world itself anyway. So, but those are all right ideas. Just what are the costs going to be, and I'm going to cover that later in my next video. Children. What's he going to do for children? Let's see. Ensures children have access to quality education while promoting healthy lifestyles and an environment free of crime and predators. I can relate to that. That child slavery and pornography and all those things, they need to do something about that. That needs to go away. That's not good for society. Providing health care coverage to low income and uninsured, that falls under the health care, Medicaid, and the health care, Affordable Health Care Act. Ensuring that our children are protected from exploitation and continued efforts to reach out to at-risk children. That kind of falls in a good category. I mean, that we need to make sure children aren't exploited and protect them, because they are the future. That has like 3 pages to it. Compassion. There's really a section in this budget for compassion. How about that? Let's see. The 2008 budget reaches out to individuals and families and communities by promoting initiatives that assist to those in need, care for sick, and more comfortable life with better opportunities for the future. Let's see. Supporting home ownership, housing assistance through increased resources and program, housing more low-income families. Every time the government gets into housing, it gets all screwed up and it just keeps costing us more money. It's a great idea, but we should leave that to the states also. Supporting faith-based and community programs. Supporting community services. Community services are good. Still, all these things should be, if the government wouldn't tax us so much and leave the tax money to the states, then maybe the states could do these programs themselves without government interfering of the federal government. Promoting health care coverage to low incomes, that again falls under his Affordable Care Act. Promoting nutritional assistance programs, that's a good idea. Kids should be healthy, definitely. So, and preventing and responding to global and local health challenges and humanitarian needs. The humanitarian needs need to stay here in the country until all our children are taken care of and the homeless are taken care of. That's what we need to concentrate on. That's going to make us a stronger nation. Not giving humanitarian rights and giving tax dollars, American tax dollars, to foreign entities and nations. America comes first, in my opinion. And we keep flipping through these pages. Energy. This 2008 budget for President Obama, increasing the use of alternative fuel in cars and trucks. That's a good idea. Improving and reforming corporate average fuel economy, the CAFE, C-A-F-E, standards for cars and trucks. Expanding strategic petroleum reserves. What do they mean by expanding strategic petroleum reserves? I'll have to look at that later. Accelerating technology breakdowns with the Advanced Energy Initiative. Advanced scientific progress with the there's that American Competitive Initiative again. Maintaining the nation's nuclear stockpile and strengthening nuclear non-proliferation. Okay. And now the government's take on education. Ensure all students have access to quality education, building on the success of the No Child Left Behind Act, making college more affordable. I get it, that making college more affordable. Maybe the people that teach need to not have so much retirement, tenure and retirement. Maybe then the cost of education might be a little less, might be a lot less. Homeland Security. He wants to increase funding for the Department of Homeland Security by 8%, prioritizing comprehensive immigration reform. That must be his dream act. That's not good. You know, we have laws on the books for immigration. All they need to do is enforce them. And instead of capturing people when they're coming across the border, is to turn them around and send them home. If they're crossing the river, have a boat pick them up and drop them back off on their side. Simple as that. They don't capture them and bring them here, then we won't have to worry about processing them. Oh, what did he want to do? Let's see. He also wants to protecting all modes of transportation from attacks by terrorists, preparing the nation for public health emergencies, protecting homeland from nuclear threats, improving chemical security, and providing stronger federal response to all hazards, including acts of terrorism. That all sounds good, but I don't think they've done much with that, except spend a lot of our tax dollars. And defense, 2008 budget, supporting operations on the war on terror. Yeah, I agree with that. Developing capabilities to meet future threats. I agree with that. Defending the homeland. I agree with that. I agree with a lot of this stuff, but creating his own personal homeland defense force. I think it was back in the news a while ago, a few years back, that he wanted over 1 million people under some type of federal force, armed force. Again, I'm going to go through each of these and total up the amounts and pick out where I think, and maybe others like me think, that the money should go or do with it instead of what they're doing with it. So that's it for that. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you again next time on my next video. I have information, so I look down and I read a lot. So just bear with me. Tune into the next video. I'll give you some estimates on that, and also going to have my view on immigration and some of the other topics that the presidential candidates are talking about and not talking about. Thanks.